afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks everyone for being here today. This is a press conference for Toshira Garraway to address the data practices of Hennepin County and the city of St. Paul. For at least 10 to 15 years, Toshira has been fighting to get the truth about what has happened to her fiance, Justin Teigen, who was found dead in a dumpster after an encounter with law enforcement in the state of Minnesota. In BLM, Minnesota, we believe that any time that law enforcement has an encounter with police and that a family requests the data should be released within 24 hours of the incident. I'm going to hand this over to Toshira Garraway, and she can let us, and her lawyer is here to let us know updates about the case and about them getting the data that they so justly deserve. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for being here today, for me and my son and my family. This is hard. I think it's even messing with my mental health to relive this. August 19, 2009, Justin was found dead in a dumpster after being pulled over by the St. Paul police. We were requesting, me and his mother literally pleading to see the video footage of what happened to Justin. We were denied access over and over and over again. Then all of a sudden, a botched video comes out. Some stuff that was edited and put together to further taunt my family was given over to a media outlet. And it's been a nightmare for me and my son, Justin's mom, Justin's grandmother, ever since all of this happened. And it just hurts me to know that the mayor of St. Paul has not stepped up to address my family and my concerns and my whole family concerns. The Hennepin County is defending the medical examiner's office that refused to give the footage to me and my family. They want to minimize everything. And it's just excruciating. It's one thing for a human being to end up brutally beaten inside of a trash dumpster. And then after he's brutally beaten, after we can see that this happened to him, we can see him like this. This is how we get to see him. This is how his body is found after being pulled over by the St. Paul police. And for 15 years, they held the information from us. Look at him. Look at him. And you can tell me that a beating didn't take place. And then you refuse to give us the footages that we're asking for. Look at his body. There's no way that someone just jumped in there and all of this happened to him. And then we ask you over and over and over again, this is how Justin's body was found. We ask, can we get the videos? And then you give the footage over to an outlet, an uncredible source, to a KKK, to further taunt me, my son, and my entire family. It's not fair. And it's not right. And now, Hennepin County and St. Paul all work together to say, well, it doesn't matter, we're gonna just move on. No, you're not gonna just move on. You're gonna give me and my son the answers we deserve. Stop playing with me. stop playing with my son, stop playing with my family, and stop playing with God himself. I will now pass this over to my attorney, Liliana. Thank you.
Thank you, Toshira, and thank you everybody who's here today. I know we're all here to support Toshira, Justin Jr., and as well as the family of Howard Johnson and family of other folks who have been lost to St. Paul Police. And in this case, as Toshira has mentioned, we don't yet have the proof, right? We don't yet have the proof. This is not the wrongful death case, but it still matters, right? We know from Sonia Massey to George Floyd that police officers often lie unless there is something that proves, unless and until there is something that proves otherwise, right? We know that in those instances, for example, with Sonia Massey or George Floyd, with Sonia Massey, they said that she harmed herself, which was blatantly false. And with George Floyd, that there was a medical incident until Darnella Frazier's video helped us prove otherwise. So this is not conspiracy theorizing. This is the truth that a lot of families know, and that is why the Data Practices Act is so important. To be able to get accountability, to be able to get information, and yes, of course, any information outside of the government's own information can be even more important. But this is what this is about. This is about Toshira and Justin Jr. trying to get access to the videos and not just viewing a video, right? Not just viewing a video under the circumstances that the government can control in their office. Under the circumstances where Toshira can possess the video, can look into it, can make sure to do her own investigation, because there is reason to doubt the account that her family has been given, right? There has been reason given over and over and over again, not just from St. Paul Police, but from the history of the United States that we know that. So this is what this is about. It is a data practices case, but it is emblematic of so many, unfortunately, Black lives stolen under similar circumstances where information is denied unless you fight and you fight and you fight. And so, unfortunately, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office moved for summary judgment to try and kick out Toshira's case. And the city of St. Paul has gotten in the way of trying to amend the complaint so that she can properly seek damages for the willful violation of being told not only that video didn't exist, even though it did. And so that's what we've been fighting for. We had a hearing last Thursday. We have a letter brief due today that we will file after this press conference. And this is the hope that we will get the chance to get to discovery, to be able to get accountability for Hennepin County and the city of St. Paul's wrongful denial of this video for years and years and years. And so this specific case only deals with information requests in recent years, but this has been a really long battle for Toshira and Justin Jr. This has been ongoing, and so this is just one drop in the bucket of what the struggle has been, but hopefully we will prevail, and we're hopeful that the judge will see through these arguments.
Thank you, Liliana. I have two of my family members that are here with me, which is my son as well as my brother. And I want to ask, before I move on, is there anything that you guys would like to say? Is there anything you want to say, Hello? Okay. And so I am now going to move forward with another family that is here with me today. Her son is Howard Johnson, who she lost at the hands of St. Paul Police. He was also 24 years old, years later, after Justin. And conveniently, one of the video that was missing out of all the videos, the only video that was missing was the video that actually the officer ran over and shot Howard Johnson. that is the only footage conveniently that was missing. The officer, quote unquote, didn't have a dash camera, which is really strange if all of the other cars had dash cameras. So I'm here with my sister Monique Johnson, the mother of Howard Johnson, who had to wait over a year to receive any footage at all. And then when she did receive footage, the main footage that she needed, which would have specifically showed what happened to her son, was missing. So I'll pass it over to Monique Johnson. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Toshira, I'm so sorry for your loss and for everything that you've been going through. I'm truly grateful for you because you not only fight for your kids, for your son's father, but you also fight for many, many other families, including mine. I just want to say that so every day that I wake up, right, I have this unbearable weight right on my chest because not only did I lose my son Howard to the hands of the St. Paul police, but 5 months later I lost my oldest son, who I truly believe 100% that it had everything to do with his brother being murdered. Not only that, but Howard has twin boys who just yesterday turned 6 years old. And so I have his birthday, I have his death date, and then I also have to watch his children grow up without a father. And I just, I pray every day that God does for me what I can't do for myself, and I pray that God does for us what we cannot do for ourselves, because something has to change. I worry every day that I have another son, and I also have grandchildren that have to grow up in this corrupt ass world. And like driving, or even walking to the store, or God forbid they have mental health crises. And this worry is gonna be ongoing for the rest of my life. And it is so unfair that we break the law, we go to jail, we get punished, right? But the police, because they have this label, they're a police officer, they're supposed to be here to protect and serve, not to murder our loved ones. But they can do whatever they want to do and not have any consequences behind it. I really don't understand that, and I really believe that some of these policies and these laws and these things that they have in place need to change. Because only so many times you can say, oh, well, this person made a mistake or this person made a mistake, but when are you going to do something about it? When is there going to be some change? When are we going to see some of these families get justice for their loved ones being murdered? Like when? And we're going to keep fighting until we see some change. And Toshira, I'm here with you always. I love you.
We will now have, if it's okay, we have the father of Teigen Sundberg, Mark, who came to join us today as well. Teigen Sundberg was killed in a mental health crisis, and it took them, oh my goodness, it was over a year and something before any footages, and there was still footages missing in that situation as well. I just want to say that I believe in my heart, and I know that this is intentional, that these footages are being withheld from our families, that we can't access. If there is truth and transparency, there's no way that I would be fighting 15 years later to get footage for Justin. And also, we got videos that when we do get them, they're blanking out. There's time differences. Stuff is blurred out. Even after we wait a year or 5 years or even sometimes 15 years, around the time that we get the footages, stuff is, videos like in Justin's case, one of the video cuts out an hour. Conveniently, it's the video that shows a straight shot of Justin. That one goes blank an hour before the other two videos. And then, like I said, while I was being told no and being denied access to the video, a whole botched video was given over to a media outlet to further taunt my family even more and come up with their whole conspiracy and lie that they made up about how Justin died. So, Mark, would you like to say a few words? Yes.
I'm Mark Techlight's father, who was killed about 2 years ago. And I'm just here to support Toshira because you shouldn't have to, and I listened to that hearing that you had, and you shouldn't have to jump through hoops to get the truth. It should just be given to you. Yes. And they need to be willing to do that. It would make the city look so much better if they would just turn it over instead of trying to come up with any reason they can. You didn't fill this form out, you didn't call this person, this representative really didn't represent us. And if your representative isn't representing that, your organization, then they shouldn't be representing you. But it's just so many hoops that she has to jump through. And so many years, I can't believe she's stuck with it like this. She's got a lot more courage and ambition than I do because it's been 2 years and I'm losing hope. But good luck to Cheryl. I sure hope everything goes.
I would like to now call forward Jaylani with CARES Minnesota, a strong activist that stands and fights and supports our families. Thank you.
First of all, greeting of peace, assalamu alaikum, Toshira, to all the families. I think what we are seeing in Toshira's case and in many cases is what Toshira oftentimes recalls, which is, the face of George Floyd is really the face of many that have been killed in darkness. And Derek Chauvin represents the face of many officers who have never been held accountable. What's interesting is that the data request is public data. The public paid for that data. Our tax dollars paid for that data. And any organization that has nothing to hide usually shares that information. And there's an expectation that when people who cause or do criminal acts, there's an expectation that they share that data by force, through subpoenas and even through warrants, where they would come and get that information because they need it to be able to do their job. We have been trying to advocate for a 48-hour policy, the state legislators, to make sure that agencies are able to give that data. What is interesting and what is a fact is that there is no other agency or other industry other than policing that is responsible for their own accountability, for every aspect of it. From the initial interview on the ground, to the data collection, who holds the data, who has access to it, who shares it. And it's very interesting, after every recent police shootings, they're only able to share information that perpetuates their narrative. Their narrative. And when it's not to their favor, they hold it. And when they hold it, they start to create a narrative, a different narrative. They go after every person they just killed. And to begin to start, we've seen that in every single case. And in Toshira's case, particularly with Justin, we know that in that era, policing in Minneapolis and particularly in St. Paul, literally knew the strategies and the tactics to make sure that the cameras on the cars did not point to where they were about to go beat somebody. And in fact, in the cases they did make that mistake, it was that last officer who got so adrenaline rush that he forgot to point the car away from the beating that we were able to solve those cases. What I'm here to say today is the public is responsible for these murders because we pay taxes to create the policing that happens in our own cities. And for Justin to pay taxes for his own murder, that is unacceptable. And all we're asking for is simply accountability. We want to hold police accountable. We want the truth and the facts to be laid on the table. But we do not have a fair chance because every aspect of the city is protecting law enforcement, from the mayor to the city council to every aspect, because they want us to move on. You have seen what is going on in Minneapolis today. You've seen what's been happening with the county prosecutor in Hennepin County. The entire state, the entire white majority of Minnesota wants to forget that they murdered George Floyd. And all that is left of the murder of George Floyd is the riots. And I personally believe some of that protesting and organizing was fake. Because if it was real, you would have never been going back to the same normative. Most of us have changed. Those murders have changed our life forever. We question, we ask, we get organized, and we stay focused. And if you believe George Floyd is an anomaly, it's not. George Floyd is the face of many, including Justin Teigen. And so we're asking for the public to wake up and to realize that we need change. And that change needs to happen now. Because Sonia Massey is just one, there's more to come until change happens. And every single person is waiting for that one name, one video that comes out that shows again and again that law enforcement in this country can do whatever they want with no accountability. And the moment there's a little bit of accountability, look what's happening to the county prosecutor in Hennepin County. They're literally lynching her and lynching her office. In fact, she has reported that police officers are refusing to do their job and hold criminals accountable because their officer, who's a criminal, cannot be held accountable. That's the type of behavior that is happening. And now they're weaponizing crime against our community. And that is what we're seeing today. Residents who think that crime is happening solely because of police officers being there. Crime happens all the time in all societies, and it's a community responsibility that has to happen. Police officers only show up after a crime was committed. But the reality is they are weaponizing because they're trying to turn back the clock. They're trying to hide their murder under the darkness of darkness of darkness. And we have seen these cameras, we have seen what they do. They have done all types of things to make sure that data doesn't come out. So we're asking for the people to wake up. Because if we can't fight for Justin, and we can't fight for these families, the next time we are back here, it's someone who stayed silent. It's someone, their neighbor, their brother, their sister. And by the way, the police do not care what color you are. They might kill you more because you're black, but they don't care. They will kill anybody because that is how they're trained and that's how they behave. And we've seen the city move after the murder of Justin Teigen. But as soon as right after that, many people forgot and left the table until George Floyd was murdered. We need people to stand up, and we are asking today, as in many days we've asked the Department of Justice to do what they're doing to the city of Minneapolis, the city of St. Paul. The St. Paul Police Department should be under investigation by the DOJ, just like in Minneapolis. Because crime not only happens on this side, police crime doesn't happen only in Minneapolis, it also happens in St. Paul. And Justin Teigen is part of that story. We can't even get the full story because they're refusing. The only reason is because they're guilty.
Thank you, Jelani. Thank you for that. I have two more speakers before we close. We would like to have, I'm going to have Mother Valerie Castile, the mother of Philando Castile, and then we're going to have Angel with Twin Cities Coalition for Justice. Miss Valerie?
I apologize for being late. It's always a difficulty getting from Minneapolis to St. Paul, but I'm Philando Castile's mother. and Philando was murdered July the 6th, 2016 by St. Paul police. He was seatbelted in his car, and he had his girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter inside the car as well, and that guy shot into their car with no regards to human life. They hunted him down. He followed him for 2 miles, pulled him over. He immediately stopped because he had not done anything wrong. And he was asked to produce his driver's license, in which he was reaching for. But in that same split second, he said, "Officer, I must tell you I do have a weapon in the car." And instantaneously, my son was shot. He was shot at 7 times, but his body took 5 of those bullets. And I'm just so thankful to God, even though he shot in that car with no regards to human life. He shot in that car with no regards to human life. He was the only one killed. The bullets did not, injure the child or the female, but it's just the act of shooting in a small enclosed area like that, and he was not even charged for that. So we're gonna back it up to 2016, when there was an investigation done through the Department of Justice from our higher authorities. I'm talking about the Attorney General, the senators and representatives as well. They wrote the Department of Justice and asked for an independent investigation about Philando's civil rights. That's what we're talking about right now today. We're talking about civil rights. And this was in 2016 in St. Paul. So then we fast forward to George Floyd, and they had the investigation through the Department of Justice, which they were founded to have violated this guy's civil rights. My son's civil rights was violated over here in St. Paul. And if they had done the right thing and completed the investigation that was done on Philando, we would have the same opportunities that Minneapolis has right now. But they didn't. They didn't think that my son's civil rights was worthy of a full investigation. Come to find out, they made a side deal with St. Anthony Police Department. They did not complete my son's investigation for his civil liberties. My son had a right to drive. He had the right to drive down any street that he wanted. He was a taxpaying citizen, and he was denied his right to live. And still, we don't have a complete investigation. And I have written so many of our higher authority, which brings in the question of the integrity of these officers that they serve under. It brings in the question of integrity. You have a right to have an investigation. If you feel like your rights have been violated, you have the right to address it. That's right. And they have not. They have not finished that investigation about my son. And it seems like nobody cares. Nobody wants to drag that back out. As horrible as it was, it happened. It happened. And you can't take it back. You don't get a do-over. All you have to do is do what is right by the citizens of the United States of America. This is the United States of America, and they say we have these unalienable rights. Where are they when it comes to the black man? When it comes to the black man, where are our inalienable rights? They're violated constantly. We're going to back it on up again. We're going to go to 2000. You got so many bodies here in the state of Minnesota, St. Paul and Minneapolis. You have all these bodies, but Philando was the first time that an officer was ever held accountable for what they have done. Don't use my son as a learning tool. You didn't know how to present the case. You didn't know to do these things, and you never reached out to a different city and say, you know what, we're lost. We're behind time. We have not done what we should have been doing as far as the black citizens of Minnesota. We haven't been doing that, so we don't know what we're doing. Can you help us out? Because if they had gotten the help that they needed, we would have that. What is the thing they call in the second decree?
Second degree.
Absolutely. We would have had one a long time ago if they had done their jobs. And this is, look, I'm going there. This is the election season. If these guys are not going to do what they're supposed to do, get their ass up out of there. Get their ass up out of there. See, now I'm hot now. Just thinking about how I have gone to these people to give them the opportunity to do the right thing. You know, you signed your name to a document asking for a separate independent investigation by the Department of Justice. You put your name on there, and then they make a side deal. So what does that say about what they think about you and your position? You signed your name to a document, and it wasn't upheld. And we're talking about the government. We're not talking about a small entity that can say, oh, you know what? We don't have to do that. You do. When we're talking about the United States government, when somebody presents a case to you and it's a legitimate case, you are obligated to fulfill that investigation honestly, with transparency and openly. Give that information. Don't go and make this side deal where you haven't gotten the input from the people that's really, it's about. But you done made a side deal, don't say nothing to nobody about it, and then just have a damn interview and say, oh, well, they said they're not going to do this and they're not going to do that. Well, wait a minute, all that's fine and dandy, but what about my son's civil rights? See, that's the difference. That's what that letter was about, Philando's civil rights. It wasn't about, let's make an agreement, hold them responsible, and we'll make a side deal. We're talking about my son's rights, and they have yet to do the right thing. And my next move is I'm going to the FBI, and I'm going to take all those letters that our stakeholders and lawmakers have written to the Department of Justice asking, well, where is the information? Somebody has it, because there was testimony given during the winter. I'm talking about these people trudged the weather to come out and talk about what happened to them in their lives and their learned experience through the police. And we ain't gonna talk about the people that visit the ER that has an encounter with the police. We're talking about the ones that are no longer here. But all of it go hand in hand. Some of our people are dead and gone, murdered. We ain't talking. It can't be an accident. If it's not an accident, it's on purpose. Ain't no in between. Either it was an accident or it was a fucking on purpose. So we don't stop with all this dancing around and making light of the situation. This is serious business. People are losing their lives. These are people that had aspirations and dreams and goals. They had children. They wanted to do things, travel. You never put yourself in that position to say, I wonder how that man felt when he realized this person is going to kill me. Have you ever thought about our kids and said, I wonder what my son was thinking when he realized he was looking down the barrel of a gun and this man was going to kill him? Have you ever thought about Justin when he was running from the police? Did he run and turn around and say, these people, when they catch me, they're going to kill me? Have you ever put yourself in somebody else's position? Have you ever thought, would your daddy have done that? Would your father have went into a shootout with the police and you were sitting in the back seat backseat of the car and your mama was sitting next to him, do you think your brother would have done something irresponsible and stupid like that? Stop letting these people get in your head and make you think that you didn't see what you saw. You didn't hear what you heard. Stop letting these people get into your mind and change it. I'm tired. I've been out here 8 years fighting for justice, and we get the tedious things. And then it seems like we going back in time. They say we ain't gonna do this no more. Turn around. They do it again and again and again. That ain't right. No, it ain't right. Thank y'all for coming and listening, but we have to do something. Get them people out. If they're not gonna work for us, they need to go. This is election season. Get them out. Thank you.
I do have, after Twin Cities Coalition for Justice, I have the aunt of George Floyd that just walked in as well, so I would like a few words from her as well. After Angela.
Hi, my name is Angel, and I'm with Twin Cities Coalition for Justice. First, I want to say that my organization supports Toshira and all the families that ever want to get the documents that they need. It should be immediate. When you send in a request, it should happen the next day or within that 24 hours. If we're looking at years and years and you ain't received your documents, something's fishy going on, right? They're already spinning the wheel, trying to come up with something to fit their narrative. And we talk about change and accountability, and the one thing that TC4J is working on is called CPAC, and CPAC is a model that was set up by, set up by the Black Panthers, where they started policing their own communities and stuff like that, and that's what we want to do. We want to start policing our own communities and hold these killer cops accountable for killing our loved ones, our community members, our friends, and everything like that. And I just wanted to send all my condolences to each and every one of you. To you, and also you, Toshira. I've been in this journey with you when we first met, and you showed me those pictures, and it just tore me up when I seen those pictures. There's no way that Justin hurted himself. These cops have to be held accountable, and we need justice for Justin Teigen now. Justice for Justin. Justice for Justin now.
Thank you, Angel. We will now have a few words from the aunt of George Floyd, Ms. Angela.
Hello, everyone. Sorry to be a little late. I just want to say to Toshira, our Florida family, we stand in solidarity with you and with the rest of the other families and community. And our organization, you guys remember staying in solidarity with you. I've watched you grow, and I don't know how you do it, you know, and I get my strength from you and from the rest of the family. This is hard. It's very, I don't know what the word describe when you lose a loved one by injustice. And you have to watch it and you think about it every day. And I get tired of hearing, well, this person should have pulled over. This person shouldn't have ran. You hear all these things, but they never ever say, rarely say the accountability of what the cops or the police officer should have done. Right. There's no reason that anyone have to end up getting killed by making a mistake or just an error in judgment. It should not have to end up this way. There's always a better way. And for our Black and brown people, our options have always been limited. It doesn't matter what you do. You know, you stay in the car, you abide. But here's the thing. The 4 years I've learned is that police have discretion. I didn't know that. I was raised down south. I didn't know that the police have discretion. I just thought if you get pulled over, you get the ticket, or whatever happens to you. But knowing that they have discretion, they don't have to shoot. They don't have to chase you that way. And these are options that are entitled to us. They're entitled to white people, a long time. You know, they should entitle everyone. So we need to get justice for Justin and for all stolen lives. And you never have complete justice, but accountability we should have. Because we can't bring the person back, but we need to have this accountability. And so I want to say thank you for listening to me. It's not about me. It's about Justin. It's about other stolen lives. It's about us standing in solidarity and just being unified together. Thank you.
Before we close out, I just want everybody to zoom in into how Justin was found. I want you guys to zoom into that. And this is why we were requesting the footages over and over and over again, because this is why my family needed answers immediately, that we were denied. We were lied to by the St. Paul Police Department. We were told that there was no footages. We were told that over and over and over again. Zoom into these. This is how his face looked. And one last one, this here. Because this is a 2009 lynching.
Say that.
And this is why we needed the footage desperately. Me, Justin's mother, his brothers and sisters, my son, all of his friends, his family. And I'm calling on Melvin Carter and Mary Mariotti, the two entities that are being represented right now in this situation. I'm calling on them. I want to have a conversation with Mary Mariotti and Melvin Carter. You represent these two entities that are involved with this, that are involved with not giving up the footage to my family. That would have provided closure for me and my family, those videos. I don't want these edited botched crap that you give us that's going blank. They're going blank in the middle. They're stopping, one video stopping an hour before the other one. The times are all screwed up. It's raining in one part of the video. The other part of the video is clear. I don't want that. I want justice for Justin and all of the stolen lives. And if they can lie to us about what happened to George Floyd when we watched him die on the ground, if they can lie to us, imagine what they did back in 2009. You have a family that will not give up, that will not be quiet, that will not stand for this. You have a mother, Ms. Valerie Castile, who will not stand for you just looking in her car and killing her son for no reason. If it's happening on one side of the river, this is what she says, then it's happening on the other side of the river. So we're calling on Melvin Carter right now, and we're calling on Mary Mariotti right now. And our community deserves that, as you guys being our elected officials. Justin Teigen, say his name. Justin Teigen. Say his name. Justin Teigen. Philando Castile, say his name. Philando Castile. Say his name. Philando Castile. George Floyd, say his name. George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd. Howard Johnson, say his name. Howard Johnson. Say his name. Howard Johnson. Tepley Sundberg, say his name. Tepley Sundberg. Say his name. Tepley Sundberg. Say his name. Tepley Sundberg. Thank you all for joining us this evening or today. I appreciate the support. It means the world for y'all to show up today for me and my family.
this is an excruciating journey. It's re-traumatizing. It's messing with me spiritually and emotionally. And I can't even put into words how thankful I am for you all showing up today. Thank you. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. 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 All power to the people. All power to the people. Thank you all, everybody. Give me some round of applause.
Sure, Liliana Zaragoza, that's Liliana, last name Zaragoza, Zaragoza, and I'm with the Racial Justice Law Clinic at the University of Minnesota Law School.
Thank you. Is there any more questions?
Can you tell us about the legal action you're pursuing? Just make sure I understand it correctly.
Yes, so Toshira filed a complaint, or rather her former counsel filed a complaint on her behalf and on behalf of Communities United Against Police Brutality in June of 2023. And it's seeking damages for basically the wrongful denial of video evidence, both against Hennepin County and against the city of St. Paul. And so now I'm new counsel, so Toshira has new counsel, and when there was a brief moment where she was acting pro se earlier this year, and during that time, Hennepin County moved for summary judgment rather than coming to the table about the denial and the basis for the denial of the video evidence. And so I came in at the 11th hour, but I'm really glad that I've been able to work with Toshira and her family to challenge that motion for summary judgment, to challenge Hennepin County's wrongful denial of the video. And we also sought to amend the complaint to properly include Toshira and her family as plaintiffs in counts against the city of St. Paul. She was omitted. Only Communities United Against Police Brutality were listed as a plaintiff in that complaint. So whether it was, a typo or some other error, we have asked the court that they allow Ms. Garraway Allen to change that, to be able to include herself, because clearly the request that CUAPV sent was on her behalf. It regards her fiance, it regards Justin Teigen. And with respect to the city of St. Paul, specifically the complaint talks about the fact that the city of St. Paul said that there was no video evidence. So in situations where in this case, we would argue that that was false, it was a lie. They were simultaneously giving that video evidence to other third parties who were not a party to this lawsuit. And actually it was Ms. Garraway Allen's persistence and asking Hennepin County for that information. It was only through that she was able to find out that video evidence existed. So Hennepin County, and this is all in the docket, Hennepin County acknowledged at that point that they had video evidence and that it was from the city of St. Paul, but they would just not turn it over to her, and that she should seek it from the city of St. Paul. And so that's where the battle begins, right? Unfortunately, basically this is an end run around justice, an end run around accountability and the ability to give her the video evidence, right? St. Paul said, we don't have video. Hennepin County says we have video, but we can't give it to you. Go to St. Paul. Go to St. Paul. St. Paul says we don't have video, right? So it's that cycle that we're fighting against. And so we had oral argument last Thursday. We're hopeful, I think that the case is in Ramsey County before Judge Hsu. We're hopeful that he seems to understand what's happening here and that summary judgment will hopefully be denied. and Toshira will have the opportunity to amend the complaint to properly go after St. Paul for that willful violation, for what is fundamentally a lie.
Thank you, I think Trey wanted to add something. Trey, did you want to add something? Brixton, you got a question?
That reminds me of another question. So there's been this story that a local news site, I guess you're not mentioning the name, how did they have to go through all these hoops to get that video? Or can you get the video from them? Was it released to them? What's the deal with Alpha Video News?
Yeah, that's what was really awful and strange, that they would end up with some botch, whatever they had. At the same time that this was given to them, I was requesting and was saying that it didn't even exist. So that's where it's really bizarre to me that I would be told that footage did not exist at all, and meanwhile, this other outlet ends up with something, smoky, you can barely see what's going on or whatever, but it was just really strange to me that the whole time that I'm requesting it, this other outlet ends up with that. And then when I got a chance to see the breakdown of the video, that's when I could see where one video goes blank an hour before the other two videos. The times are all wonky, it's clicking in and out, all kinds of stuff is happening. So, and then, go ahead, Jaylon.
Let me just tell you exactly what happened. Liz Collins works for WCCO until she was fired. She's married to the leader of the entire Minneapolis force, Bob Kroll, and she has been after Toshira. Why? Because Toshira now is the strongest woman standing for all the families whenever something happens. So attacking a leader and attacking her family, and how fast did she get those videos? Because she's spinning the narrative of the police department. That is what happened.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. And then it says, this was just given to me, St. Paul guilty of intentional data request violation against a group fighting bike trails. So this just happened where St. Paul was found guilty for intentionally violating the data practice request for even a bike trail group. So if that can happen to them, imagine what can happen to a family like mine. Where this happened in 2009, there was no body cams back then, there was no dash cameras back then, there was literally only the surveillance from the local businesses. Justin's mother went to them right away and asked, can we please see the videos? Can we please, see what happened? We were denied at that time. His mother was denied at that time. His mother was treated so horribly. Even that night, they put her over at gunpoint, his mother and his 65-year-old grandmother. So, I mean, it's been, if I broke down the entire story, we've been followed. Every time we would request the videos, we would get followed. The police would sit outside our homes. They would wave at me with my son in the car, threats, all kinds of stuff that I've had to endure and live through every time I requested the video. This is why I asked for CUAPB to assist me in requesting the video, because I was afraid for my safety. And so then I end up in this whole charade. So we'll just keep on fighting, keep on standing up, keep on speaking the truth. And I believe in my heart that justice is going to get served either way. Thank you. Is that all? All right. Thank you, everybody.